Good morning, true crime friends. Listen, I've been listening to testimony from yesterday from Lori Vallow Daybell's trial. Today is, let me look at my calendar. Ooh, with no glasses on. Thursday, April the 20th. This is what I don't understand. Oh, it's 420. For our 420 celebrants, enjoy. This is what I do not understand. How did she think she was going to get away with this crime? Like, it's clear that she premeditated and planned these crimes, but she made no provision to get away with them. Like, I mean, I guess she made short-term provision to get away, but not long-term provision. You're going to kill somebody, then go to Burger King, and then take all the money. Like, it just doesn't make sense to me. Have they never watched an episode of Law and Order? They don't want, clearly, these were not true crime people. They're like busy off living in their la-la land with their portals and their whatever. Meanwhile, Lori's lawyer is there in court like, Your Honor, I object on the grounds that if people keep testifying that my client will be convicted, and we would like to not have that happen. Thank you. I'm going to sit down now. But just for the record, I'm going to object to everybody who says something bad about Lori, sir. No. That's not how this is going to go. So she took money from her child and she took money from her previous husband when Charles Vallow was shot. Now, we knew this, like we knew all of this, but it's so weird to hear it in court for some reason. So Alex, the brother, and Charles, the husband, get into some sort of altercation that was clearly provoked by Lori. We know that from previous testimony. Also, we know that from Dateline, because to me, Dateline is a valid source of information for this case. And so she was like, oh, he's dead on the floor. Let's go to Burger King. Is that how you celebrate? Is Burger King celebratory? Okay. So she takes the kids to Walmart and gets some sandals. She buys a burner phone. Then she goes off. Okay. And apparently I heard from another podcast that whenever something terrible happened in Lori's life, she would go to like an amusement park, usually Disneyland. But I guess they went to Knott's Berry Farm. Why did I think that was in California? Maybe it is in California. I don't know. I'm not up on the latest Knott's Berry Farm. That sounds like a place you could just buy like jelly and fresh eggs, but I guess it's also an amusement park. But after Tammy died, the whole family, the whole gang went to Knott's Berry Farm to celebrate. I don't understand the thinking behind that. But listen, I'm not a murderer, so maybe I would not. Clearly, without murder on my mind, I am not contemplating these things. You know what I would be contemplating? How to get away with it. Ultimately, all the crimes they committed, they got away with it for less than a year. And then poor what's his name? Peter Griffin, the potato, Chad Daybell. Man. So we know from history and podcasts and everything that we've heard, if you followed this case, that Chad was kind of the loser of his family. I think his siblings had like big fancy jobs and they were very bright and whatever. That's not to say that Chad was not very bright. I personally suspect he was not very bright, but I can't put that on him because I don't know. I never met the man. But apparently, his siblings were considered very successful in that family, and he was kind of the loser of the family. And so he was using these books to sort of be like, see, look what I'm doing. I'm making lots of money. I have 75,000 kids. So I'm doing big things too. But ultimately, he was not that good at crime. So he was digging graves. He meets Lori. He kills his wife. He takes the kids to Knott's Berry Farm. Lori's kids are buried in his backyard. And at the time that the children were being dug up in his backyard, he had a bank account balance of like $25,000. And so talk about a consciousness of guilt. The police are searching the yard, and he was just like, okay, let me just pass out all of my money to my kids. He probably did some quick math. I'm sure he had to take off his shoe to figure out like how many thousands should go to each kid. So he sent $8,000 to each one of his children, leaving a balance in his account of like 25 cents. And then the police took him in. Consciousness of guilt, sir. Consciousness of guilt. Like, let me give y'all some money because I'm going to go away for a long time. Also, if my father was leaving, like $8,000 probably wouldn't be enough. Although they were adults, I'm sure they had jobs. They had their own lives. But at the end of the day, they were scraping for cash. Like, Lori got Tylee's money after she was gone. Lori got JJ's money. She got spousal survival benefits. But in the end, they were like, swiping cards and bouncing checks and trying to get money to go through. Y'all, how long? Some people live paycheck to paycheck. These folks live murder to murder. Like, you can't, what are you just going to murder everybody? Who are you, Alex Murdoch? You just going to keep murdering people to refill your bank account? I have a radical idea. A, don't murder people. B, possibly get a job. C, give up all this crazy delusional thinking. But at the same time, they were like, the world's going to end next week. We have our food storage together. And I'm gathered here in Rexburg, Idaho, with Jesus's best friend, and I'm Jesus's ex-wife. How would Jesus feel about this? Like, honestly. So, according to Chad and Lori, in previous lives, they were really close with Jesus. So, Jesus's brother got together with his ex-wife. I would be mad if my brother got together with my ex-spouse. Like, well, I guess that would make, okay, anyway. Jesus would be mad. Jesus wouldn't be speaking to y'all. That is a violation of girl code and bro code and all kinds of codes. Like, these people are foul on every level. Not only was Chad not bright and not good at crime, he was not financially savvy. How long until the money ran out, right? Like, the way they spent, the way they were doing things, that money was not going to last them very long. Charles, you getting arrested might have saved your life. Like, honestly. He got $400 and something thousand, $425,000, something like that from Tammy's death. Okay, so they're in Hawaii and they're trying to buy property and they're doing all these other things. So what was that money going to last them? A couple years? At the end of that couple years, Lori would be like, I think Charles is a zombie. Hey, new husband, can you come and hit him with a baseball bat and then I can go to Burger King? Like, This is poor planning. And I am offended by that. Yes, I am also offended by murder, as we should all be offended by murder. But the poor planning of it all is just abominable to me. I cannot understand. In other news, because honestly, today's court case, I haven't even listened to all of it. I'm about 3/4 of the way through and I'm like, finance news, stuff we already knew. This is what happened in my life that is very interesting. Not very interesting, probably not interesting at all. But let me just tell you what happened. So I'm sitting at my desk, I'm doing my work, minding my business. And my colleague walks up and she was like, hey, what's going on? And she asked me a business related question. Don't remember what it was because it was of no consequence. I mean, it was of some consequence in the moment, but it's inconsequential right now. So she's like, hey, have you heard about this true crime case? And I was like, yes, perked right up. When she was asking me about numbers and facts and files or whatever, I was like, yeah, girl, look over in the file room, whatever. She's like, there's this new crime case. I was like, what? Which one? What you need to know? Because I have encyclopedic knowledge of all things true crime that are relevant right now that I'm interested in that usually don't include murdering kids. She's like, this lady, Lori something, she was involved in a crime. Do you know anything about that? Child, I wanted to refer her to my YouTube channel, but as this YouTube channel is kind of on the low, hey, employer, I really hope you're not watching this. I was like, oh, well, what do you need to know? She's like, I don't understand who the people are and what happened. I was like, let me clear off my desk. I wiped everything off my desk and pulled out a piece of paper. I was like, okay, right here. You know how in sports ball, they do like the X's and the O's and the arrows and stuff to show you how that was me. All my desk stuff was on the floor, but I was like, this is important. Forget about these documents and everything else that's happening. Okay, so Lori met Chad, but before she met him, she had all these other husbands. And so I was explaining the case to her, and she's like, you're so funny. You should have a podcast or something. I said, that's a good idea. You're hilarious. What else do you need to know? Do you need to know who was killed and what order and how much money they got for each one? Did you know? And so I was filling her in on things, and she was like, wow, this case is complicated. I was like, it sure is. And then she asked me something about like when was tax day or something like that. And I was like, oh, okay, girl, I got to let you go because I got to pick up all the stuff I just swept off my desk onto the floor. So court continues today. I'm going to have to continue to clean up the mess on the floor since I paused for probably not work-related purposes. Thank goodness my boss wasn't around because, I got real excited about the true crime in a way that I don't get really excited about work. Okay. Oh, Lord, I hope my employer is not watching this. I have a good cup of coffee. I'm going to go water the plants, and I think I I'm going to go to the gym today. I have not been going to the gym lately because I've been so tired, but I think I'm going to go to the gym today. So y'all have a great, safe day. Get your workout on, and we will meet right back here tomorrow morning if we don't meet tonight after work. I'll see you then. Bye.